Hey guys, I'm here to do an eyeshadow tutorial today with Younique Addiction Palette number 5. This was the last pre-packaged palette that I purchased. It was easily the most intimidating for me, which is the reason that it was also the last one that I purchased. It's the only palette that has no mattes, all shimmer shades. It's a really pretty palette. I like it every time I use it. It was just getting over the initial shock and anxiousness of using a palette that was so outside my comfort zone. So I just applied our Younique eye primer. I love the stuff. I use it with every single eyeshadow that I put on, whether it be cream or pressed shadows or these palettes. It's a constant for me. So this is Addiction Palette 5. Again, all shimmers. Look at those shades. Like a unicorn shade. They're really gorgeous and they all go really well together. Like I said, I always like it once I get it done. I'm pairing this eyeshadow look because these are kind of out of the norm shades with a nice neutral lip, and this is just pouty lip liner. That's it. It's like a nice darker, almost a peachy nude-ish color. Very neutral, so it goes with just everything. And I'm also going to be using some rose water today. Just if I'm going to use these bright colors, I'm going to wear them really bright and give them just a really nice look. So what this rose water does is even intensifies the color even more. So I'm going to spray it on this dual brush that I have here. It's the liner shader brush. So you could use this end for some eyeliner. And this is just a flat end here. I'm gonna spritz it with rose water. Just takes a little. And then I'm gonna start on my lid with this gold shade called Vindictive. So I'm just going to tap it on here. I'm just going to pat it on my lid. About 1/2 to 3/4 of the way, covering my lid here. It's just a really pretty yellowish gold. Maybe even more yellow than gold, actually. It's just a really pretty shade that I wouldn't normally pick as my first color choice if I was just going for something quick. But I love, love, love the look. Especially in the spring when you just need a splash of color. So that is Vindictive, like I said, about 1/2 to 3/4 of my eyes. That looked pretty just by itself. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to take my favorite crease brush. And I think I'm going to use this vintage shade. It's almost like a peachy, orangey color. I don't know if you can see it real good here. And I'm going to take that shade and I'm going to place it in my crease as my transition shade. You're like, oh my goodness, a yellow and an orange. What is she doing here? And I'm not going to spritz this with rose water because it really doesn't need it. I really want just that yellow with it kind of being pale, even though it's super pigmented and I put the eye primer on. I really wanted to just give it as much sparkle as I can, especially when I'm going to be piling on these even more intense shades. I really want it to be able to hold its own. All right, there is my transition shade. Nice corally orange shade. All right, don't worry, we're gonna blend this all out. Specifically with this big, fluffy blending brush. And this blending brush just makes it so easy. Super fluffy, as you can see. You don't have to press really hard. I'm just kind of going back and forth, doing it in a little bit of circles just to kind of blend those colors together. you can blend it out as much as you want. Have it a little bit darker, apply it a little bit lighter. But this blending brush really does a lot of the work for you without much effort at all. Like I said, I'm not applying much pressure. I'm just kind of swooping it back and forth just to blend those colors out. Then I'm going to continue on with my crease brush, and I'm going to use this shade Sarcastic, and it's definitely more of a pink. Where this was an orangey coral, this is definitely a raspberry pink, I would call it. I'm going to slide that over into my B. I've gotten all my makeup on already today before I'm doing my eyes. Today I'm wearing BB cream blended with velour concealer, and I've topped it with velour powder. And I used Scarlet concealer for my highlight, and then Hermosa bronzer for my contour and for my blush. You'll see if you look at my look of the days, it's super common for me, especially on the weekends when I'm trying to use less products because I'm usually in a hurry, or I'm going to the gym, or just running around with the kids. I just really love the look of the bronzer as blush too. It's the only bronzer that I've used that does not turn orange on my pale skin. It doesn't give me any sort of orangey tint at all. And then, like I said, pouty lip liner. I used the eyebrow pencil today. You'll see I go back and forth quite a bit between the palette and the pencil. I really like them both. I just try to mix it up really with all of my products so that I'm using all of them consistently, so that I can give everybody who asks a really good definition and review of all the products and which I like best and which I think they'll like best. I'm still just going in with the Sarcastic pink color on this outer V. All right, there's my blending brush. I'm just going to blend it out a little. Are they pretty colors? It doesn't have to be super dark. It doesn't have to be super crazy. And you look at these colors and you're just like, I would never wear these. But honestly, you can get a pretty neutral eye look that doesn't look totally crazy. And I find it that I really like wearing color on my eyes. You know, when I'm going super quick, or I'm trying to just get some makeup on and go out the door, I'm always picking neutrals. I'm always picking the browns because I know that it'll go with whatever I have on. And I'm always, you know, slapping it on with some mascara. But really a touch of color. I always like the color once I wear it. So I blended that out, as you can see. I'm going to use, I think, Brilliant. It's this light, it's almost like a silvery blue color, just on my inner eye here, just to give it a little bit more color. A little bit of highlight here. Let's see. A little bit more sparkle, because why not? If you've gone this far, why not go even farther here? I'm just going to use all these shades here. I'm going to use Suspicious, which is like a lighter, I don't even know how to describe this color. It's almost got a little bit of, it's a neutral for sure. Maybe like a brownish peachy shade. I'm going to use it under my brow for just a little bit of highlight and to fill in that gap that is between where my eyeshadow ends right now and my brow line, so it doesn't look like I've missed something there. And I never put a bold color up there. It's always something light just to kind of fill it in or highlight under my brow. Never anything super bold, usually just the lightest color in the palette. And that's it. It's a really nice, colorful eye look that, like I said, I would almost always pair with a neutral lip color. This one goes well. Sublime, Stellar, those always look good. I'm gonna go ahead and add some eyeshadow, or I'm sorry, some eyeliner. And I'm gonna go ahead and use this palette, I think Fearless, this really pretty purple shade. I'm going to use that as my eyeliner today. So I'm gonna use this, we use this end for the yellow, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this liner end for my eyeliner. I'm gonna use this rose water to just spritz it on here. And then all I'm going to do is dip it in this purple Fearless color, just tapping it right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and just apply it on my lash line. Gives it a nice, colorful liner. All from just this one palette use. And that's what is another benefit of these bright palettes. Really, all these prepackaged palettes, you're gonna be able to do your eyeshadow. There's always gonna be some sort of shade in there that you can use for your eyeliner. And this is just one look that I can get with this palette. All of these shades go very well together. And that's what these prepackaged palettes do, is it takes all the guesswork out of it for you. You know, all these shades are gonna go together. All of these shades can work together in numerous pairings to give you a ton of looks just from one palette. There's 5 of these. This is the 5th one. I've done tutorials on 1 through 4 already, so look for those on my page if you haven't seen them yet. And they're all different. I'm gonna go ahead and add some to my bottom too. They're all different palettes with all kinds of different shades. Palette number 1 is the most neutral with browns and peaches. Palette 2 is the smoky eye palette with grays and silvers. 3 is a nice spring palette with purples and pinks. 4 is another neutral palette, but it has browns and blues. And then this one that has all shimmer. So that was just Fearless again that I used with my liner brush. Still had rose water on it, where I'm just using that as my bottom liner as well. That's it. One palette, a full eyeshadow look, including liner, all from this really, really gorgeous palette. That's it. If you have questions, let me know. It was super easy. The right tools help. Especially these 2 tools are my go-to for every single powder eyeshadow look. It's my crease brush and my blending brush, and they are just a must-have in your collection. They have just stepped up my eyeshadow game, made it so much easier to apply these looks. And also eye primer. It intensifies all these colors. It makes my eyeshadow stay in place and last all day long through work, through running the kids around, through gym. It doesn't allow my eyeshadow to crease, which is huge, not just with powder shadows, but with my cream shadows that I wear too. And a little bit goes a super long way. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.